Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. And as always, a new month means a new Gunpla schedule. And we've got quite the backloaded month this time around, with our first releases only happening on the 20th. For 550 Yen a pop for US, you can get the GQuuuuuX General Purpose Water Slide Decals number 1, which can be used for machines like the GQuuuuuX, and the GQuuuuuX General Purpose Water Slide Decals number 2, which can be used with machines like the Red Gundam. But unfortunately, they haven't yet given us the complete list of mobile suits with which these sets can be used. So you'll kinda have to guess which other mobile suits that these sets go with. And for 3,630 and 24 US, you can get the high-grade Rigdom Gaia/Ortega Custom GQuuuuuX version. A Rigdom that looks surprisingly normal by GQuuuuuX standards, at least until you look at the backpack, which is a third leg. Other accessories are a giant bazooka, 2 heat sabers, 2 grappling hooks, a wire for the grappling hooks, and a bunch of hand options. And then on the 27th, we are getting a very similar package as we got on the 20th. For another 550 Yen for US, you can get the Freedom General Purpose Waterside Decals number 1, which can be used with machines like the Rising Freedom and Immortal Justice, and you can also get the Freedom General Purpose Waterside Decals number 2, which can then be used with machines like the Mighty Strike Freedom and the Infinite Justice Type 2. But again, those are all of the details that we know so far. And then finally, for 4,620 and 31 US, we've got the Real Great Wing Gundam Zero. And they really went above and beyond with this kit, adding real great exclusive features to its most defining assets. The wing binders have been made much more elaborate, especially the thruster portion, and they've also been given a lot more articulation, and the twin buster rifle now comes with extending barrels, making it just that little bit more impressive. And the handle also has a locking mechanism to make sure that the Zero can securely hold onto this bad boy. Other accessories and features then are 2 beam sabers stored in the shoulders, a shield with pile bunker action, a set of marking stickers, machine cannons that can open up, and of course, the ability to transform into Neo Bird mode. And then just today, we also got a new Gunpla announcement, the RE100 Denon Gay, proving that the RE100 line isn't dead just yet. It's just on life support. For a second, I hoped that this was maybe a standard release that we were getting in March, because so far nothing has been announced for March, but of course, that was stupid of me to hope for. Of course, this thing is a premium Bandai Limited kit. And for 3,300 Yen, 22 US, it can be yours in November. The good news then is that it does come with a nice array of accessories. We've got the expected things like a beam rifle and a beam shield, but it also comes with things like the rubber parade covers for its feet. And to clarify, they are rubber in universe, but just plastic on the model kit. And you can also choose between 2 different cockpit hatches. A gray one with a red emblem as seen on the line art, or a red one with a green emblem as seen in the anime. And on top of those accessories, it's also got some good articulation, and, it just looks plain badass. So it's a real shame that this thing got logged behind the premium Bandai wall. Related to the Gunpla news then, the Bandai Hobby Center Plamo Design Industrial Institute Museum, or the Gunpla Museum, as I will be calling it, has opened up to the public on the 2nd. As a result, we also got some pictures of the interior, including this room with literally hundreds of tiny RX-78-2s stuck to the wall. Look at your screen, I am not exaggerating. Somewhere, someone is going to replicate this with Zakus in their house. And bonus points if it's hundreds of regular Zakus with 1 Char Zaku in there. The museum is located in Shizuoka, a city famous for model kits, and there were some other events as well to go together with the grand opening of the museum. There's a Gundam-based pop-up store, which will be there until October the 30th, and the Gunpla Museum has a collaboration with the Shizuoka Railway. Special one-day passes can be bought, and the station in front of the Gunpla Museum has now also gotten a secondary name, Bandai Hobby Center Mai, which translates to in front of the Bandai Hobby Center. As for visiting the Gunpla Museum, you'll still need to make an advance reservation, which is still limited to people living in Japan. And I'm going to clarify this once again because I still see people who are confused about this. You don't have to be a Japanese citizen to make a reservation. You have to be a Japanese resident to make a reservation, which are two very different things. So if you're just in Japan for like work or as for like an exchange study, you should be able to make a reservation. Like as long as you have a residence card or a Zaidui card, you can make the reservation. And if you don't know what those cards are, that means you probably don't have one. For the figures then, we're starting off with some brand new announcements from the Gundam Military Generation line. There's the GMG Collection 11 Sleggar Law Normal Suit version and the GMG Collection 12 Mirai Yashima. Both go for 3,850 yen a piece, 26 US, and are slated for a January release. Sleggar comes with 3 sets of hands, a pistol, a holster, 2 multi-pouches, a helmet with either an open or closed visor, and 2 faces, being one for with the helmet and one for without the helmet. And if you want, you can also display the helmet like separately. As for the proportions, the GMG line works really well with adult male figures, so Sleggar is definitely one of the best GMG figures that I've seen to date, and I would say totally worth getting. But this then also means that Mirai's proportions, on the other hand, aren't the greatest. She's a bit too bulky. Her accessories then are 3 pairs of standard hands, a hand holding onto a hamburger, and a Sleggar head that is about to bite into the hamburger. So of course, those last 2 accessories are meant to be used with the Sleggar figure. But I am looking forward to like review images of Sleggar's head on Mirai's body. Like, we all know it's gonna happen. If you want to go a bit fancier then, the Gundam Guys Generation Quatro Vageena is getting a limited edition reprint in April for 19,800 yen, 133 US. The figure is 1/8 scale and comes with 2 right arm options and 2 face options. So you can display him with his sunglasses on and his arm resting on his hip, or you can have him taking off his sunglasses, revealing that he was in fact a Char after all. Or you can combine the sunglasses face with the sunglasses arm, revealing that underneath the sunglasses was another pair of sunglasses. More plushy figures then come to us from Gundam X through Shop Nui. For 2,200 yen, 15 US, you'll be able to get a plushie keychain of either Tifa or Garrett, and they're slated for a December release, making them perfect for Xmas. I'm here all week. But if you need to save up some money because of all of these figure releases, then from January, you'll be able to do so with this GQuuuuuuX Haro Piggybank, which has a removable head to cover the coin slot. It'll set you back 4,180 yen, 28 US, and it is estimated to have a capacity of about 5,500 yen coins, making for a grand total of 25,000 yen or 168 US when the Haro is filled up. Also, this thing will be available at regular Japanese hobby stores, but it's again one of those things where if you buy it through Premium Bandai, you'll get a little bonus. And this time, that bonus is a Machu and Haro microfiber cleaning cloth that you can also put the Haro on as like a display piece. For some Gundam Seed Freedom related merchandise then, you can head to the Animate stores for the Gundam Seed Freedom Preppy style and Animate event. It's held from October the 24th until November the 9th, and features Kira, Lacus, Athrun Kigali, Shin, Luna Maria, Izak, and Diarca in some timeless, classy outfits, which you can then get on a variety of goods like stickers, can badges, carapics, A4 clear files, an acrylic stand diorama, acrylic keychains, and of course, individual acrylic stands. And for every 1,100 yen you spend on Gundam Seed related items, whether it's the new stuff made specifically for this event or other things, you'll also get one bonus postcard. Meanwhile, on the gaming front then, in both Gundam Battle Operation 2 for the PlayStation and Steam, the Tall Geese 3 has become available. In the global version of UC Engage, the crossover UCE Angel Halo 3 kit-staking flight event has gone live, as well as an extreme limited unit assembly for the UR Cecily Fairchild and her UR Vignagina. And they also celebrated Goof Day with a special login bonus, which is something that was also celebrated in SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. Here they made a special stage where you could earn diamonds and unit upgrade data SSR. And there were even more diamonds up for grabs because they gave out 3,000 of them for once again reaching the #1 sales spot in certain regions. There were also new event missions and stages added to the Eternal Road, and Map Event Volume 2 went live, giving us a bunch of new units like the SSR LP Puru and Hercule Mark II, the SSR Hayato and Audumla Supporter, the UR Cubile Double Zeta Gundam version EX version and UR Haman Khan, the UR Full Armor Double Zeta Gundam EX version and UR Judo Ashita, and the UR Gulemi Todo and Sandra Supporter. And on top of all of that, they also announced a collaboration with the Gundam card game. From October onwards, SD Gundam G Generation booster packs will become available as prizes at certain tournaments. And at those certain tournaments, you'll also be able to get promotional codes for in-game items. So far, we have this image featuring X base cards of the Unicorn Destroy mode, Freedom Gundam, Ariel, and GQuuuuuuX, with more information becoming available at a later date. And finally, in the Extreme vs. 2 arcade game, the Red Gundam and Chuji have become available, and you could also get some Infinite Boost merchandise through a collaboration between the Gundam Game Grand Prix and Rage. There's a t-shirt for 4,400 yen 30 US, a muffler towel for 2,420 yen 16 US, a standard acrylic stand of Nagata or Nakao for 1,650 yen a piece, 11 US, or a big acrylic stand of Nagata or Nakao for 6,600 yen or 45 US. Like, those are some expensive big acrylic stands, and I'd argue that you're actually much better off getting the smaller versions because they also come with an RX-78-2 and Wing Gundam Finiche respectively. And even if you don't know the characters who are besides them, like, just their artwork looks amazing. In other news then, the JAL X Gundam restaurant bus has begun transporting people to the Osaka World Expo, and Aidori Senshi will be performed at the Hatsune Miku Lawson 50th Anniversary Special Live in Yokohama on January the 17th and 18th. And it is explicitly forbidden to bring raw green onions into the venue, meaning that this must have happened quite often in the past, which is something I am not at all surprised by. As for the things you could get this week then, we started off on the 1st with the second lineup of the Gundam BlockCross series, a lineup of action figures / model kits that are all about customization of the block frame with the included cross parts, which is where the name comes from. But don't let this lingo fool you. It just means that you're attaching armor parts to a standardized inner frame. For 1,870 yen a pop, 13 US, you can go for the Unicorn Gundam Destroy mode, the Gundam Ariel, the GQuuuuuuX, and the Night Gundam, and their deal is all kinda the same. They come with some basic accessories, a sticker sheet because their color accuracy is absolutely horrible, like seriously, look up some reviews of the first lineup, and 2 spare blocks so that you can modify the block frame. The idea being that you can make like the arms or the legs longer, or you can make the torso longer, but the problem is that all of the armor parts seem to be designed to fit around the standard configuration of the block frame. So extending it is probably just going to look really weird. And I again tried looking up some reviews of these things because I wanted to see what it actually looked like in real life to have those like extra blocks attached to it. But while all of the reviews I could find mentioned these blocks, none of them actually used them. Like one of them even mentioned them as just leftover parts. The one thing that they all did agree on, though, is that these are pretty bad for the price. So, yeah. Oh, and one thing that I noticed about like this lineup in particular is just how chonky they are. And this stood out especially badly with more slender machines like the GQuuuuuuX. On the 4th then, which is today depending on your time zone, you could go for some prize items in Japanese arcades. In collaboration with Hatsune Miku, you could go for this Gundam 45th Anniversary X Hatsune Miku figure Zaku Gurumi Hatsune Miku version, which is a very long name to say that it's a figure of Hatsune Miku wearing an adorable Zaku onesie. Like, the only thing that could have made this figure even better is if that leak was also in the form of a Heat Hawk. Or you could go for one of two inflatable plushie Haros. There's a green one and a pink one, and it's basically a beach ball with a soft fabric on the outside. And it's even about the same size as a beach ball, around 40 centimeters or slightly under 17 inches. For this week's reading material then, we got it all last week, so moving on to the apparel news. And there also wasn't a lot there. On September the 1st, Banquet celebrated Shin Asuka's birthday, and that was it. For 3,850 yen, 26 US, you can get a fancy Aurora acrylic stand, which either has a blue or pink shine, depending on the angle. And for 11,000 yen, 74 US, you can get a Shin birthday ring. It has a red gem in it, and engraved onto it are Shin's name, his birthday, and a wing of the Destiny Gundam. And both of these items are slated for a November release. And that was all for this week's Gundam news. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.